Very warm welcome to our press conference. Beginning of the season opener, new season 2023-24. Yesterday, we had a good start in the German Cup, winning away 2-0 in Andernach. And on Friday, the Google Pixel Frauen-Bundesliga will start with an away match in Freiburg. Anticipation is great, preparations are going well. And that's why we've been staging this press conference. Thanks for participating. A lot of numbers here with us. And the reason is that we have 4 English-speaking player and the coach. And then we'll switch into English then.
Welcome to the English-speaking journalists as well. For everyone, please raise your digital yellow hand if you have a question, and then we will give you the word. Okay, on stage there's George Stanway, World Cup finalist. Congrats once again. And Alex Straus, our head coach. Let's get started. So please raise your hands for your questions. Christian Stüwe, Münchner Merkur.
Yes, hello, nice to meet you again. So it's for both of you, your second season after winning the Bundesliga in the first year. What are your goals for this year?
Well, I think as Bayern and as footballers, you don't just turn up to take part. We're here to compete, and as footballers, as competitive athletes, as professional athletes, you want to win. So yeah, I don't think we should ever shy away from the fact that we want to win, because that's why we're here and that's why we turn up to training every day. So yeah, we focus on each game as it comes, but yeah, the ultimate goal would be to try and get our hands on as many silverware as possible, but we understand there's a process and that, yeah, it's really difficult to be able to do that.
The same, no. I think that we need to look at what made us successful last year, and our approach to the season from the start, where we grew a lot during the year, and I think that we need to continue to do that, continue to look in short timelines, keep the eye on the ball, get a little bit better to tomorrow than we were today. So I think that's my job, to be honest. It's like working on the path, not where the path is going to take us, where the end of the path. I need to be on site every day, and I think that's the same for the players, and I think that made us successful last year.
Katie Wyatt, The Athletic.
Hi, Georgia. I hope you're well. I was wondering how it's been getting over the disappointment of the World Cup, and what your process was, how you felt afterwards, and how you've managed to get yourself into a position where you're ready now for the new season.
Yeah, hi. It's nice to see some English faces, so that's a positive. The game's growing. But no, yeah, it's disappointing. I think when you go so far, and the ultimate dream was to lift the World Cup, I think to get so far is so good yet so disappointing, and that's kind of what hurts the most, is the fact that you go through the full process of playing 7 games, but at the end you don't reach what you were there to do. That's obviously something that we'll review next week when we go back onto national team camp. But I think in terms of me individually, I think I've been okay. Obviously, a few days after, I was a little bit disappointed. My parents were happy to get rid of me back to Bayern, because I think I was a little bit short-tempered and I wasn't the most entertaining daughter in the household. But I think, yeah, for me, the best thing to do was to come back to training and to try and get things going as quickly as possible, because then you've got less thinking time on what's just happened, and I will process it when the time is right for me to process it. But right now I know that my job is to get back to Bayern and focus on this season. We played yesterday and I felt good in the game. I've not dealt with 35 degrees heat in a very long time, so that's something that I did struggle with yesterday. But in terms of being back on the ball, I really enjoyed it. I felt like I was getting some rhythm, and I'll just continue to do that. So yeah, just finding my feet in training, getting routine back in my lifestyle. Having to do my own cooking and my own washing is something that I'll have to get used to. But yeah, just finding a process, finding a routine, and just getting my feet back down, and yeah, just going through the process.
And did your parents give you any advice after the World Cup, or were there any conversations with them that have stuck out in your mind?
Well, my mum's not even come home yet, so she's living her best life in Australia, enjoying holiday mode. And yeah, my dad just said, just get back down to business, and that's what I have. I've come back into Bayern within a week and just wanted to get back into training. My body didn't thank me for having a week off, so it was just about, yeah, getting back to routine, getting the work on the grass, finding my feet again, and I feel like that's what I did, especially in the game yesterday. And going forward, we've got a big game on Friday, so look forward to that, do what I can this week for that, and then after that, focus on international.
Well, thank you, Georgia.
Thank you.
Viktoria Kunzmann, Abendzeitung.
So hi to Georgia and hi to Coach. There are several new players. You've got players back like Julia and Linda, Pernille, and also Magda, Sam, many new players. Just maybe you can explain for a couple of seconds how you felt training with those new players, how hard or how difficult is it to find the perfect starting 11 with all those players?
No, what you're saying is like the more good players you have, the more perfect starting 11s you have. So I think it's what we felt last year, to be honest. Is like at crunch times when we business end of the season, we were a little bit thin in depth. We had of course a lot of injuries also last year, and at that point when we, especially around the Champions League quarterfinals, that period, and at the same time we played Wolfsburg both in the league and in the cup. So we got out of that period with beating Wolfsburg in the league, and eventually then ending up with the league championship. But it was touch and go, and then we lost the cup against Wolfsburg, and then we also went out over 2 games against Arsenal in the Champions League. So we want more, and we want to be more competitive and going forward. So to do that, we need to have more depth. So that's what the club has done this summer, and added more depth. So now we have a double position all over, almost in every position. So if one is out, the other one can play, and we are not weakened in terms of quality. I think, of course, the problem for me is when everybody's fit like now, and then everybody wants to play. That's the situation at the moment, and we're happy for that. But we know that it would be tougher times. You know, we have a lot of international players, so they play with the national teams also. And this year is a new tournament there where they play Nations League, so every game is competitive. So we cannot, they don't go with the national team, and we expect them to play 45 minutes or one game. The national team need to play the best teams as well. So there will be a lot of load on our players, so we need to be able to rotate more than we did last year. That was one thing that we planned to do last year, but we were not able to because of the situations that we had. So this year, hopefully, we will be better equipped. And yeah, we have a really good team this year.
Then Anton Tului, Sky UK, please.
Hi everyone. I would love to sit here and ask you all about the new season and how excited we are, but obviously there's a big cloud hanging over women's football at the moment, and that's what's happened with Luis Rubiales, the World Cup final, and subsequently. So Georgia as a player and Alexander as a coach, we're just wondering what your reaction has been and whether you've had time to sort of process what's been happening, I suppose.
Well, there's been an outcome now, so I think we don't want this to be the end of something, we want this to be the beginning of something. So everybody's fought, and we've fought as a women's football group, we've fought as players, we've fought as staff, we've fought as journalists for the outcome to be what it is. And obviously the outcome is what we want, but at the same time we want this to be the start of something rather than the end of something. We want to continue to be able to have these conversations, feel comfortable to have these conversations, feel comfortable in your workplace to be able to stand up for whatever you think's right. And I think that's where we're so good in the women's game, is the fact that together we are so much more powerful and together we can make change. And this can be the start of something going forward where we can be united as a team to continue to push for what's right. And I know as a group of Lionesses, and I know as a group at Bayern, we will continue to fight for what we believe is right. Even if people don't join us, we will stand by our own opinion and the group that and the opinion that we have as a collective. So yeah, we have a resolution, but this is only the start of something that could end up being potentially very, very positive for the women's game.
Yeah. No, I think that the outcome is what it is now, and I think that was the only outcome that could be happen after this situation. Everybody saw the video, and everybody saw all of us saw the match. So those pictures speaks for themselves, and I think in generally, I think that everybody should feel safe at the workplace, and that we need to have these conversations, like Georgia said. And yeah, the outcome is what it is, and it's the right outcome.
Thank you both.
Rich Leverty, please.
Hi, Georgia. Hope you're good. Yeah, I mean, it's been a year now. Obviously, you've been in Germany. You spoke last year about how big a change it was for you. Looking back over the 12 months, what have you learned about yourself as a player, as a person, and yeah, your first 12 months in German football?
I think the biggest factor is the fact that when you remove yourself out of your comfort zone, is you never know what you can achieve. I think in such a short space of time, it's just been one thing after another, and I've never really been able to have the opportunity to reflect on something because something new has happened or something more exciting is around the corner. And I think the fact that I've had the trust in the coach, I've had the trust in my teammates, I'd say I've had a successful year. I think I've played in a formation, I've played in a position where I've been able to get some consistency, I've been able to find my feet and make the position my own. I've kind of adapted my position also in the national team as well, so I've kind of made that position my own in terms of the defensive and the attacking attributes that I can bring, and I feel like I've matured. I think in a short space of time I've been able to gather some leadership into my game. I'm able to communicate more. I understand exactly how Alex wants us to play, and I'm happy to communicate that, but I'm also happy to demand more from others when things are expected. So yeah, I feel like I'm just in a comfortable position.
How different has it been? You know, you were at Manchester City for so long, and then you go into a different environment, different culture, different style of play. Like, were you able to take that in your stride, or did anything surprise you that you had to adapt to, or has it been quite seamless?
I think it's been seamless because it's been Bayern. We're a team where we're not only a team, we're a family. You attend something, everybody turns up, staff, players. You do something outside of football, staff and players turn up. And I think that's the relationship and the bond that we've got between is these are the people that I spend more time with than I do my actual family. So I need to kind of, give them the time of day. And obviously something that I didn't do at Manchester City was spend a lot of time outside of football with the football girls. And that's something here that has happened quite naturally because you're thrown into an environment where your family and friends aren't close. So I think for me that's been massive because, I've created such bonds off the pitch which allow on the pitch to be a lot easier, to have difficult conversation, to be able to praise and compliment and, challenge makes it a lot easier when you know a person better. I think that's probably been the difference, and the fact that it's Bayern is even more special.
Yeah, and a quick one on obviously a couple of your new teammates, Pernille and Magdalena. They were obviously big rivals of yours in England. How happy are you to have them on the same team as you now, and another fellow Brit as well joining, obviously, in Sam Kerr coming from Rangers?
Yeah, I'm very happy. All three of them understand English humour, so they kind of understand that I can be funny at times. Struggling with the Germans because I'd have to explain my joke, which kind of didn't make it funny anymore. But yeah, with them three, they understand it, especially Sam. We bounce off each other, and some may say we look like each other, but we're still yet to believe that. But yeah, with the quality that we've added to the team, it's special. It makes training so much more competitive, which allows games to be... which games should be easier than training, because we should create an environment which is so competitive, so challenging, that, yeah, no matter what's thrown us at the weekend, we should be able to handle.
Alexander, really quick one for you, if you don't mind, just your experience of German football so far, and, you know, that it's growing. We saw Frankfurt, obviously, the other day, beating Juventus in the Champions League. Red Bull Leipzig have come into the Bundesliga. It's incredibly competitive. Like, how have you found it, your experience so far of the Bundesliga and women's football in Germany?
No, first of all, I want to build on what Georgia was up on, and then I can go on to that question after. I think that for Georgia, you who know her from England before, and of course I knew also from before, and I always thought she was a great player, and I think that now she gets the recognition that she deserved for a long time. The main thing for me with Georgia is that she matured a lot this year. I think it's like she has grown, she's become a leader figure in our team. So just to add on what she said herself, and now she's blushing beside me, but it's this is for me, it's more important, like she said, very important is that she's grown and she has become one of the leader figures also in our team, and that was very important. To the question, it's very exciting, and of course the victory of Eintracht the other day against Juventus never surprised me. I played against Eintracht Frankfurt 2 times last year, and we did. And it was really competitive games, really difficult games. And they also beat Wolfsburg 4-0 in the league. So there is not only... Very often we hear the talk, when we talk about the Bundesliga, they talk about Bayern and Wolfsburg, and it's good. But there are like great teams from behind in Eintracht Frankfurt, so it's very good for our league that they go out to show that. And also Hoffenheim has been terrific the last years. We see Leverkusen now also coming, Bayern Leverkusen. And yeah, like you said, Leipzig coming in. So the excitement is in the league, is the quality in the league. I think it's growing all the time. This year will be tougher than last year, and also that we can attract players like the ones you mentioned before, like when Pernilla Harder and Magdalena decides to leave a club like Chelsea to come here, and they could probably go wherever they wanted. That also shows signs of that there are more competitive leagues around Europe at the moment, and I think that that's important also for the growth of the women's team, that women's game. That we also have this English one, of course, and we also have the Germans and Spain and France. These big nations, the quality in all of these nations is growing, and also here in Germany.
Thanks, Alexander, and thanks, Georgia, as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Then Mas Faruqi from BBC Sports.
Hi guys, thanks for your time. Georgia, you talked about it there, about this kind of leadership role that you've almost kind of come to relish now. I just wanted to ask you a little bit more about that and how you feel that's developed, because obviously last season, Bayern, you scored some really big goals and some big games, you know, and that's clearly something that's really evolved in your game over the last 12 months or so.
Yeah, I think it's just about consistency on the pitch. I won't necessarily lead by shouting all the time, or lead by being the most mature, or lead by being the ultimate professional, but I will do the utmost, everything that I possibly can when it comes to being on the pitch. I'll put my body on the line, I'll communicate through situations, and I think I lead by the consistency in my performances, and I think that's what I've been able to gather over the last 12 months, as what I spoke about a little bit earlier, is I've been able to make the position my own. I've been able to have the freedom, the trust, the confidence, everything that's needed for me to be able to execute the position how I want to do it. Obviously, with help with all the girls that are around me, speaking from behind, the relationships that I've built on the field as well. But I think it's just to be able to gather that consistency. And I think last year my performances just got better and better. And yeah, the same when it was at the Euros, and obviously likewise at the World Cup. I think a lot of the times in the past and a lot of the times at City, I kind of went a little bit under the radar. So I think for me, I want to try and this year get a little bit more numbers on the board, so with goals and assists, just to try and put myself a little bit more out there.
Just quickly to both of you, if you don't mind, I know obviously the Frauen Bundesliga is a big target for you both, defending that title, but how big a target is Europe, and how fine are the margins now in the Champions League, given of course what happened to Arsenal over the weekend? Yeah,
it says, of course, like Arsenal was our nemesis last year, and now they're already out, and it says something how important it is to go straight to the group stages, because these qualification rounds are really difficult. We experienced that last year. We played Real Sociedad and it was a really tough playoff against them. So in those playoff games, and everything can happen. So for us, it was we won the league last year, and we were really happy for that. There was a good bonus for us that we didn't have to play these qualification rounds going into the Champions League. That being said, of course, when we are in the competition, and we are like Georgia also touched upon a little bit earlier, it's like when we put on the jersey and we go on the pitch, we want to compete. And if it is a league game, or if it's a cup game like we played yesterday, or if it's a Champions League game, we want to win every game, and we know that will be really hard and like that. And I think we need to focus like that and see how it takes us. We cannot plan too far ahead. We know there are great teams. You look at this Champions League final last year, and it's so many good teams we have so much respect for, but we think and we believe we are also in the mix, so we can also be a part of that this year. Thank you.
Manuel Schwarz, DPA.
Hi everybody. I have a follow-up question for Coach Strauss regarding the strength of the Bundesliga, and also maybe the boom of women's football. Germany had a very disappointing World Cup. Do you think or fear that this will have consequences for the Bundesliga, or maybe even that the boom of women's football in Germany could suffer from that? Thank you.
Then I will ask Josef a question. How many tickets did they sell in Freiburg for a game on Friday?
In Freiburg, I think it will be more than 10,000 people for the opening game.
Yeah, so that answers my question a little bit. To be honest, I don't think that affects anything. The request we have got and how it is around our team is much more than it was last year after the Euros. Of course, we have added to our squad that maybe is get more things in, but I think that all in all, I think this train has left the station and it's going. And I really strongly believe that a bump in the road like the World Cup war for Germany, like it was for also some other nations, it's I don't think this will stop this movement going forward. And I think when you see how it is what is the situation that we discussed a little bit earlier that happened after the World Cup final with Spain, and how everybody comes together and how much attention it gets, it's I think that this will move forward, and I think that sometimes it will be Germany who has a disappointing championship. Maybe some other times it will be another big nation, but Germany will bounce back. It's a great team. They have a great player. So. And I think we are stronger than one disappointing tournament will stop this movement going forward, to be honest.
And it wasn't so bad because we didn't get to play Germany.
Yeah, no.
Amanda Sasa, TV4.
Yeah, Alex, obviously being a Swedish media outlet, I guess you probably expect a question about Magda and what kind of kind of role you see her in, and more specifically her strengths, and what you feel like you guys got with her entering the squad.
Oh, we got very much, I think. And first of all, she has experience, and you see the Swedish national team. We know just spoke about the German ones in the World Cup, and we see the resilience and the mentality of the Swedish team going to the semifinals. Also, I think that reflects a lot. Also Magda, and how she is as a person and as a player. She has this winning mentality. She's been through a good school in Chelsea where they're used to winning a lot of things. And we see that already in training, that they bring something to our pitch about this mentality. Like, we have also players from before that have that, but the more we can get with that mentality on board, it will help us to go where we want to go. When it comes to our football quality, I think that was very important for us that we got a central defender with the left foot. We were missing that last year. It gives us something in our build-up play, and yeah, most of you probably know how we want to play, and then it's like that's very important for us that we get to the right angles. We never get that in with the right-footed left defender. So that was important for us that we got a left-footed defender with her experience and her leadership qualities. And experience. Yeah, like I said, experience that she has been through big games many times, and we want to play big games, don't we?
We do.
And Adriana Behrens, 90 minutes.
Hi, good to see you. I have another question for Alex on the squad depth. Obviously, with the many new players coming in, there are a lot of options, not only in attack, but also defense, whether it will be back three or back four, especially with Magda, who has experience playing fullback and center back. So my question is, could you please describe what your vision or your interpretation is for the defense line for Bayern?
Yeah, first of all, I think that we want to be flexible, more flexible than we were last year. That's one of our what we want to do. So we will not be that predictable. So maybe I'm not. Maybe some other people watching this press conference. Maybe sometimes we will play with a back three. Sometimes we can play with a back four. That gives us some different roadmaps out of in our build-up play. Magda will not play left back for us, I think. We look at her as a central defender. I think that's where her qualities are. But she can play in a back three and she can play in a back four. So the thing with our depth, like we touch upon here, is we can be more flexible than we were last year. We can mix it up a little bit more and be more unpredictable.
Thank you very much.
Magda just put her thumb up when you said that, so I think she's fine with that. They are already waiting. So, few more questions. Max Jakob Osts, Rasenfunk.
Hello, one question for you, Mr. Straus. So you left your footprint in the last season in the league, but you also had to adapt your tactical approach a little bit due to injuries. I think maybe due to the style of play of your opponents. Sometimes we talked about the defense now, but for the offense, what are the next steps in your tactical approach to your game?
No, I think it's... we made quite big changes last year, to be honest, in what it was the year before. I think we can be better to do what we did last year. We can be better at to controlling the games. Like we had these discussions. We sat actually in this room when we played against Champions League games against Barcelona, when we won. And we talked about our ambition is to maybe to also go out and be able to win that game where we don't need to adapt that much to their way of playing. But one of our strengths is, I think, that we are responsive to change. We are adaptable. We can change our shape a little bit. We can change our approach a little bit according to who we meet, but never change our identity. And our identity will always be to try to control and dominate the game. And I think that we did that most games last year. And I think that we still will do that, but we can also evolve and we can also grow in some aspects, especially when we arrive in the last third of the opponent, and be more efficient in the last third. We create a lot of chances and we can be more efficient.
And the last one for Victoria Kunzmann.
I have another question to the coach as well. You've tested several captains during preseason. Why, and who will be captain next season?
That you will know very soon. That will be clear before the game on Friday. So, but yeah, you have to wait a little bit longer before it's official. Okay. But yeah, I can answer one thing that for your question. Yeah, we have tried out a little bit, and there is an explanation to that. That is that there was never any intention to switch in that role, but Lina wanted to focus on herself for the next year, and she came to me and she made a decision, and then we need to find. So there will be a change in captaincy, but who it will be, you will know a little bit later. But that was pure Lina's own decision to do it. It's not like I wanted to change. It was her decision and focus on herself, and she has been a captain here, and to be captain for this club, it's a big task. So sometimes you want a little bit more relaxed life. I don't know.
Okay, thank you for now. Give us 2 minutes so we can bring Magda and Pernille on the stage. Thank you, Alex. Thank you, Georgia, and good luck on Friday.
Thank you. Thanks.
Hello again, and welcome to Magda and Pernille. We are very happy that you're here in Munich. I hope that you're happy too. Two from our new summer signings, and of course the interest was very high in the two of you for a reason, obviously, and therefore you're here today. And I hope that the journalists will have some good questions for you. And I see many yellow hands already. Let's get started with Philip O'Connor, please.
Hey, Magda. Hey, Pernille. Magda, could I start by asking you, this is obviously your first time in German football. What's it been like settling in Munich for you? How's the city? Have you enjoyed your time there so far?
Yeah, I've really enjoyed it so far. It's been an intense, 2 weeks or 1 week and a half for me. It's been a lot to take in, a lot to process, and a lot of German lessons as well. So it's been really good, really excited. I feel almost like I'm 10 years younger again, like a new kid coming to class in school, and it's a good experience for me.
Fantastic. Pernille, if I could just ask you, you're returning to the Bundesliga. One of the things that Lars Søndergaard used to say about you was that he wished he had two of you. One he could play as a playmaker and the other as a striker. Where do you see yourself playing for Bayern Munich? And do you think the German league will know all about you after all the time you've already spent there?
Yeah, I think everyone knows that I like to play as an offensive midfielder. But I can both get the balls on my feet, but also run in the deep. So, yeah, I like to do both. And what did you ask about the Bundesliga?
No, I just thought that maybe teams might know you very well from your time at Wolfsburg.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. But we have a really good team, so I don't think they will only focus on me, to be honest.
Thank you. Just one last question then. Both of you are still waiting to win the Champions League. How important is that going to be as part of your time at Bayern? Is that one of the goals for you both?
I think the most important thing for us is to enjoy ourselves, enjoy our football, trust the process and take every single game at a time and develop as individuals, but develop together with the team. And then whatever happens at the end of each season, we will see. But we know we have a squad that's capable of doing it, and we know we can do it. But for us, it's about focusing on first of all, settling into this new team, getting to know everyone, getting to know the tactics, and then developing as a team, getting better every single day, and see how far that takes us.
Thank you. The best of luck to you both.
Thank you.
Mas Farouki, BBC.
Hi guys, thanks for your time. A question to both of you, if that's all right. Pernille, first of all to you, obviously a lot's been made of your very successful time at Wolfsburg. I just wonder, now you've returned to Germany, your assessment of how German football has developed and progressed since you were last a part of it?
Yeah, I think it has developed a lot. I think the interest of the Bundesliga has increased since I left and also since I played here. So I'm excited to start to play here again, start this season and see how everything is. But yeah, I've seen from distance that the development has been really good here.
And Magda, to you, if I may, Alexander was just talking there about qualities that you bring to Bayern Munich and your leadership skills and your experience, obviously, of playing some huge games at Chelsea is a massive part of that. I wonder, obviously, I know it's very early on in your journey at Bayern Munich, but your initial sort of thoughts about your kind of leadership role within this team?
I think my focus these first couple of weeks is just to take as much in as possible, be humble, and just be like a sponge, just learn as much as I can about the tactics and the girls and the staff and everything that's around Bayern Munich. I think naturally the more I get settled, the more I get to know things, that side of me will come. But at the moment I feel really humble just getting to know this environment and this culture, and that's one of the reasons I wanted to come here, because I think FC Bayern is a really fascinating club in the winner culture that it is here. It's massive, and also the German mentality and the German football style is something that I've been curious about exploring. So at the moment I feel really intrigued and really happy to be here and just to learn and get better myself as well.
Thanks, guys. Good luck for the season.
Thank you.
And Anton Toulouse, Sky UK.
Hi Magda, hi Pernilla, it's nice to see you. Magda, just first up, I'm just wondering how difficult a decision it was to leave Chelsea after so long and such a successful spell. Yeah,
it was really, really difficult. We have had an amazing time in Chelsea, a very successful time, and just created so many good memories. I developed so much as a football player, so obviously really difficult, but sometimes you come to a point in your career when you need something new, you need to experience new things to grow as a human and as a football player, and I thought the time was right, but still the way we ended as well with Chelsea, it was just a fantastic fairy tale that got the best ending possible.
And this question for both of you, if I may. Look, obviously we're all really excited about the start of the last season, especially coming off the World Cup, but we're all still talking about the events that happened at the final with Luis Rubiales and the fallout from that. I'm just wondering what your reaction was at the time and sort of the reaction that's come out of women's football since.
I mean, I personally feel for the Spanish girls, the Spanish team. I think they made the biggest achievement of their life, and the focus had to be on that for the following week. Instead of them being able to just celebrate and enjoy themselves, they had to focus on these kind of topics. But I think it shows that the power is with the players. I think what has been proven now since the reaction of everyone, I think it shows that the players have a lot of power if they are united and they speak up, and I think that is a positive sign.
Then Adriana Verens, 90 minutes.
Hi, great to have you in the Bundesliga, especially Pernilla, great to have you back. My question is, you have played already 3 games for Bayern and scored in every single one. How much confidence does it give you for the upcoming games?
Yeah, of course, it gives me some kind of confidence. For me, it's not only about scoring goals. It's also important for me to adapt to everything, the way we play, everything around the club, the girls. But of course, I'm happy that I have been able to contribute with goals already. But again, it's not only about that. If it's me or if it's someone else who scores the goals, it actually doesn't matter as long as we win. But yeah, it's not a bad thing for sure.
Thank you. Maybe another one for Magda, if I may. Alex talked to us about the winning mentality that he wants on the team and that you have, and especially you know about that because of Emma Hayes, where you have a lot of experience with. So I would like to know if you have realized any maybe similarities or differences between the two coaches.
Yeah, I think Alex is really good at driving standards, and he's very clear in what he expects from us as a team, as individuals, and I think that is really important when you want to create a winning culture. Is every single day you have to train like it's a World Cup final or it's a Champions League final, and if you do that, then you will create that winning culture that's so important to have. So I think Alex is really good in that way, driving us, never making us feel comfortable, never standing still. We're always moving in a direction. I think that is really important.
Thank you very much.
Markus Theil, The Zone.
Yes, hi there. Thanks for your time. I've got a question for both of you, actually. I don't know how you handle this. Magda, you said that you feel like 10 years younger and like a sponge and everything. So I don't know how good your German is going to be, and who is the teacher of you as a school child, as you describe yourself now, who is showing you around and teaching you all the culture? I don't know how good your German is, Pernille, actually, from the time here in Germany when you played here.
I mean, for sure, Pernille is teaching me some things, but sometimes she teaches me the wrong things. So I'm like trying to find different teachers now. So we have one really good teacher that is helping us in the club. He's fantastic. He's helped me a lot already. But then I also try to ask the Germans about different things. So Lea Schüller actually taught me like 2 words a day. 2 German words a day, and yeah, I'm trying to remember them. But yeah, at the moment, the first step is just to try to understand as much as possible, and then we'll see when I'll be able to speak as well.
I see. Thanks.
I think Pernille's German is quite good, so next press conference we're going to do in German. Okay.
No.
And I see Georgia Stanway listening very carefully over there. Okay, next one. Rich Leverty, please.
Hi, Pernille. Hi, Magda. Question for both of you. When you decided to leave Chelsea, obviously I'm sure you had interest from various clubs around Europe, but what was it that persuaded you that Bayern Munich was the right club, whether that was conversations with Alexander? Yeah, just what was it that made you think this was the right place for you?
Yeah, I think we had a really good conversation with Alexander and Bianca, where they told us about the club's values, the team values, how they work, how the club works, and I think we both feel like this is perfect. It aligns with our values, with how we want things to be in a club, and then also I think there is so many good players in the team. A lot of talented players, young players who has so much potential and already is very good players. So I think we both thought that, yeah, it was a great opportunity to be a part of this journey that Bayern Munich is starting and doing now.
Yeah, that was a great answer. There's not much for me to contribute to that. I feel exactly the same. I think it's a really, really interesting project. I think the players are so talented. There's so many. I think we have a really, really strong squad this season, and they showed it last year by winning the league. And I think we really want to establish ourselves as the top team in Germany and in Europe. That's the goal. But I think, yeah, the way that we work every day in training, the playing style, I think there's a lot that is exciting about Bayern Munich, and that was what persuaded us.
Yeah, and Pernille, for you, I mean, obviously a few people have mentioned it, obviously having played in Germany before for Wolfsburg, but obviously the 3 years you've been away, it's changed a lot. Women's football is growing so quick everywhere. We know that they've had a European Championship final, obviously a tough World Cup, but new clubs investing, you know, Leipzig coming up, Frankfurt doing so well. In the short space of time you've been back, obviously since coming back from Australia, have you noticed a change in women's football in Germany? You know, has it moved on a lot, or Is there anything that stood out to you that maybe was different from when you left 3 years ago?
I mean, I've only been here, 3.5 weeks, but I still think that we had 2 games. One game, I don't know the city's name, but we played against Hoffenheim, and there was a lot of fans coming to just a friendly game. It was like 3,000, and yesterday it was also like 4,500 for this cup game. So I really feel that already, that there is a bigger interest of the Bundesliga and the girls, the players. So I think it's super exciting.
Thank you. Thanks, both of you.
And Amanda Sasa, TV4.
Yeah, Magda, Alex was talking a little bit about your role on the field and how he sees you. What does it mean for you? Because I understand you guys stood on the side. What does it mean to hear him speak so highly of yourself? And in what role do you see yourself? Is my first question.
Of course, it means a lot. It means a lot to hear it. I really appreciate it, and yeah, I'm just super excited to be here first of all, and to learn a new football culture, a new team, getting to know my new teammates. So that is my first objective, is to just get into everything and just feel comfortable around everyone and the playing style, adapt to it and everything like that. And then from there, I hope to be able to express myself as much as possible on the pitch and be able to bring my experience to the team and help the team in as many ways possible to be successful at the end of the season. So, but right now my goal is just to get to know everything, get to know everyone and settle in, and then I will take it from there.
My second question is, I'd like to spin off a little bit on what Anton said about the Spanish national team and his question. You guys are playing against them at the Nations League in, well, about exactly a week and a couple of days. What type of Spain do you think you guys are going to come out against, and how do you think they're affected about everything that's been going on around them?
I'm hoping it will be an empowered Spanish women's national team now. I think they've achieved their objective. I think they spoke up. They were clear. They supported Jennifer Hermoso. I think the whole world supported Jennifer Hermoso in a really beautiful way. So they managed to get that part settled. So I think they will be empowered. They will be, coming off of a fantastic achievement in the World Cup. So I think it will be a really good game, and I'm happy that we have sold out the stadium. I think having the home advantage will be playing in our favor, and we're going to be extremely hungry for revenge too, since the semi-final loss. So I think it's going to be a great game.
Thanks, Mika.
Thank
you. Katie Wyatt, The Athletic.
Hello, both of you. Just a quick question on Chelsea. Can you give a bit more detail on your last few days there and what it was like leaving, and if the squad or Emma did anything special, because you've both obviously been there for a number of years and had so many special memories there?
Obviously it was an emotional time in general. We had a really beautiful goodbye at our last home game at Kingsmeadow. That was... the way we were sent off by the fans is something that I will never forget. I will always carry that with me. It's one of the highlights of just to feel how appreciated you were from them, and just, I think we said it, we had a whole room full of gifts from them, and I think that means a lot when you're leaving, to know that you've been appreciated, and also of course from the girls and from Emma. It was a really good send-off. I think winning the league was the best way to end things, and it just, like I said before, put the end to a really beautiful fairy tale.
Yeah, I totally agree. It was especially the appreciations from the fans was something I was so happy about, because then that you have been, what can you say, seen by the fans, that the fans have enjoyed your time in Chelsea. And I think for me, the fans is important no matter where I play. I play for the fans, for the club, and to get that goodbye was something I will remember for sure.
Thank you.
Are there any more questions? Okay, probably not. 1 hour press conference is enough. And one question in our chat was, is there an embargo on this? No, there's no embargo. You can use everything straight away. Now, thank you, Magda and Pernille. We are looking forward to Friday. Freiburg against Bayern Munich. Let's hope it will be a successful one for us. All the best for the whole season to you guys and also to the coach and Georgia. See you soon, and thanks for your interest and for helping growing the game. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.